Wow, man, I really can't express how glad I am to have you back here in Vegas.
It's good to be back. It's really crazy. It's really crazy to be here and seeing everything.
Yeah, yeah, and I really appreciate you coming up the street from that long way to my house.
Hey, listen. It is one street, but it is one heck of a street. You don't even know, man.
What? I don't even. It's literally down the street from me, Colton. It's been this way for the past 20 years of our lives.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's that street, Ricky.
Are you saying there's a story behind the street that you came up here to do this podcast for?
Behind Owens Boulevard? Freak yeah, dude.
Well, do you think you could tell it, without busting into some type of musical catastrophe?
Ricky. Listen, that's Owens Boulevard. That cannot be done, Ricky. You don't just tell a story about Owens without musical accompaniment.
Wait, what? Where's that music coming from?
It's a catastrophe, Elder. Ricky.
What?
I've been a missionary too long. So, you want to know about my journey from Owens, point A, to Owens, point B? Well, I'll tell you. It started long ago, back when I was friends with a boy named Daryl. See, Daryl, he doesn't take too much of a liking to me anymore. He's out for my life because of the way that I ruined his. You see, Daryl had a girlfriend back when we used to run together in a street gang. We were called the Flying Sushi. And we were the best. We worked together so well. He was like a brother to me. But his girlfriend, well, she was like a really hot, attractive young lady to me. And that trumps all brotherhood.
She's hot!
So one thing led to another, and I was taking her out on dates left and right. We could be seen together everywhere, and that didn't make Daryl too happy. So one day while we were at U-Swirl, Daryl saw us. And he was not happy. He was very not happy. When I say not happy, I mean RPG to the side wall, not happy. I'll never forget that day. The screams of everyone's faces. And I dropped $20 on frozen yogurt that was melted in an instant. So, from that day forward, Daryl's been hunting me down with his Doberman and his trusty Remington shotgun. The girl, well, she's been gone a long time now, but his hatred, it's still there. But, I guess if I were to say one thing about this entire situation, it's that every single person should have a U-Swirl gift card because it brings true happiness. U-Swirl, the unofficial sponsor of the Ricky Tenacious podcast.
Tenacious time!
Tenacious time podcast. It's Tenacious time podcast. Oh, grab your friends if you have any and come and have a great time with your host, Ricky Tenacious.
So, welcome to the Tenacious Time podcast. I'm your hostess with the mostest, the longest reigning, most defending, youngest ever Big Valley Wrestling fighting champion, Ricky Tenacious. Welcome once again to another great show. It should be a great show that isn't interrupted. So yes, today's show, I'm really excited to do it. It's an episode I've been wanting to do. I've been dreaming to do, and it kind of has happened premature, and by premature I mean by a year. Today's guest is pretty much my best friend, someone whom I've known probably for the longest amount of time that isn't like one of my family members or something like that. You've heard me talk a lot in past episodes before about my good friend Colton. I referenced him in various episodes, usually concerning memories back to high school of certain projects I did with certain people. He was usually that certain person, along with a few other friends, such as my good friend Aaron, and that is a totally other podcast, as we like to say here on the podcast. To give you a little more background information, this guy is one of the main inceptions to me doing a podcast, to me podcasting in general. There's him, and then there was Kevin Smith, but he came before Kevin Smith. This is doing a podcast is something we always talked about, but he had other life arrangements to tend to, and so I kind of just decided to ride solo for the past 22 episodes. I kind of feel like a mother left by a husband. Deadbeat dads for the win. Just kidding. We don't support that here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the show and introduce my guest. He is the man of 1,000 monikers. He has been in such productions such as Alice in Wonderland, The Seussical, Pinafore Pirates, Mystery at Shady Airs, The Dracula Rock Show, Murder with Tomato Sauce. What's another one we got here? It's on the tip of my tongue. Tea Time with Fairy Tale Royalty. Okay, yeah, he wasn't in that one. Okay, he wasn't in that one. He is in The Dreams of Every Girl. My guest, ladies and gentlemen, Colton.
So, can I talk now?
Yeah,
okay.
This is where you talk.
Last time I opened my mouth, you pointed a gun at me.
It was a knife, and we don't talk about that here.
Looked like a gun.
So anyway, how are you, man? It's good to see you. It's good for you to be here.
I'm alive. My kidneys are working. I'm breathing. It's amazing.
Oh, so you're saying the surgery was a success?
Absolute success. I have lungs now. It's amazing. Who knew? I mean, honestly, I thought the fact that I was walking around blue in the face and couldn't run for longer than 2 seconds without literally passing out, I thought that was kind of weird before. I didn't realize never had lungs.
Wow, really?
Never
And
had
how old
lungs.
are you?
I am 19.
Wow, same as me. And I've always been pretty aware that I have lungs.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of scared to be sitting across from you knowing that now.
Well, they told me it was nothing to be ashamed of, but they told me there was nothing to be ashamed of too many times. That thing where it's like, no, you're fine. Don't worry, no matter what anybody else says. And I'm sitting there like, is this not normal? I don't understand. Why would anybody say anything? Don't worry, you're fine.
As the doctor came up behind you with a needle to pass you out for the surgery?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I believe it took 6 times to finally get you in order?
6 times to finally get them in there and actually working.
Yeah.
See, the first time they were trying to improvise with stuff that they had on hands because, lungs, it's a hard organ to just get. You basically only get that when somebody gets shot in the stomach.
Yeah.
So the first time we tried a whoopee cushion, but it was too hard to get air in. And I just had to literally I had to lay down on my chest to breathe out. But we moved on from that. At one point in time, I had an air compressor, which was great, except for the fact that it made just terrible noise all the time.
I'm sure. Do you think you could do an example of what it sounded like?
It was just, and then I would open my mouth and it was, oh! And it was, yeah. So that's really a problem with when you're, trying to have a nice conversation, or you're sitting down there at church and you go to say a prayer or something, and it's just, I don't believe it, please bless it, and then somebody asks a question about the gospel or something, and you're like, I know the answer about this and I know everything. And so, a lot of people just give you funny looks. Some people ask you to leave. I was asked to leave many times, but I didn't. And, long story short, that's why I'm not allowed in Colorado anymore.
And that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
And that's kind of the basis of what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're going to be talking mainly about Colton himself, so everybody can actually get to know who the real Colton Scholl is, or also known as Elder Scholl in the past year. As I said, he's one of my really good friends, one of the main catharsises of me starting to podcast. I believe, what was it like? I think it was like senior year.
Yeah,
we decided we got really big on podcasting.
We really loved podcasts. I started, I think, 4 or 5 different podcasts that year. Literally none of them had more than 1 episode. And literally none of them were released anywhere. I just have 5, some of them video files, but most of them just audio files.
Yeah, what was it? I think it was called, we came up with the Youth Podcast Network.
Yeah, we had the Youth Pod, was it YPN? Yeah, Youth
YPN.
Podcast. Youth Podcast Network is what we were gonna do.
You know what? I just remember. I think I made a website for that.
Did you?
I think I made a Weebly for that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that never
no one else will ever have the YPN domain ever again.
Yeah, that's right. No one's gonna be able to see it.
Take that, yodeling pediatrician narcissists.
What else you got?
Take that, Yeti pedophile nutritionalists.
What else you got?
Oh gosh, I already said the word pedophile. What other P words are?
Yahoo, Patreon, neurologist.
The yellow pansy neurologist.
Hey, we're filming. Yeah, we kind of are. Anyway,
neurologist.
Yeah, we kind of have a show to get to and a schedule to keep, definitely.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we will find more about you during this podcast.
Yeah.
So, you are Mormon.
I am.
That is your religion.
I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is really long, but it's the official title.
And you have to say it like that every single time.
Not like, it's not so much the I am from the church. Hello. I am a normal human being. What's up? I mean, I friggin' say whatever the frig I want, but, it just, when I have to say the full name, as I'm supposed to, because, we don't call ECTA the gay school like the people from Swecta call it. Freaking, yeah, so when I have to say it, it's long. So I take a certain tone. It's just such a struggle when you introduce yourself every single day, like 15 times a day. Hi, we're the missionaries of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so it's like, it's just long.
It's like that every single time.
Every time. Sometimes, I like to switch it up a little bit and say, hi, we're the Satanists. Oh. And then everybody starts listening, and then they get bored with us because they realize we're not actually.
Oh.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it turns out, we're Christians. We believe in Christ. That happens. Some people, they don't recognize that. But
Christ is cool.
He is.
Bump it.
Bump it.
Okay, so yes, Mormon most of your life, and
Yes.
It is a customary that usually once you get out of high school, you go on a thing called your mission.
Yes.
Which is where you go to another state or out of the country to spread the word of God, I'm guessing? Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, cool stuff right there. It always makes for a good story. And we're all about stories here on the Tenacious Time podcast. So what I want to do is mainly talk about that. Cool. Kind of the focus of this episode. We still will get into our sweet and saucy segments of the show.
Oh, gosh. Because,
there's no way I'm going to let you get out of here without that happening. But we on the podcast are very interested in different point of views and perspectives and different experiences people go through in life. And sometimes those experiences and perspectives are driven by the life we choose to live, which can also be kind of defined of the religion that we are raised upon, yours being Mormon.
Yep.
So tell us about, where did you go for your mission?
So I went to the Colorado Springs, Colorado mission, which covers...
Colorado?
Yeah, it covers basically the southeastern side of Colorado. There's some mountains off to the west that it's kind of like a diagonal zigzag around Colorado. But basically, if it's in the southeastern corner, we probably have it. We cover a small sort of city place underneath Denver. called Castle Rock. We don't have Parker anymore. That's a little bit to the east of Castle Rock, and so it's kind of like a divot under it. But we cover from that corner down to Raton, New Mexico. And so it's a nice little square chunk. And it's honestly one of the best places I've ever been. It's really cool. It's cold there, which is nice. The weather doesn't know how to make up its mind because it'll be snowing one morning and then you're out there in shorts and a t-shirt because all of it is melted and it's freaking hot and humid and sucks the next hour. It's like blizzard 1 second and then nothing the next. And it makes it really hard when you're like, we're going to go out proselyting. Let's load up on our jackets since it's going to be cold. We'll grab our shovels. We'll shovel some people's driveways. That'll be great. And then the sun comes out and melts it all. And you're out in the middle of the street wearing snow gear looking like a total idiot. And you're like, gosh dang it. We centered our day around this. We were parked for this.
Dang you, weather!
Curse you, weather! But yeah, it's just kind of funny, especially because we have company cars. I say company car because it gives you the idea. It's the church's car, but we basically treat them like company cars.
Yeah.
We drive them, we take them home, we are the ones who are over them, but if we break it, we get into much trouble.
Mm-hmm. And you have to go to human resources.
Oh gosh. No, we don't go to human resources. We just pay for the stuff, and that's hard as a 19-year-old.
Yeah, very hard. That's kind of worse than human resources.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, you see, our human resources isn't. They just shoot you.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. They just push a button, trap door falls out, and
then you're in the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. It's kind of like the atrium on the way up here, like the spiral staircase. I saw the elevator, but I'm like, I'll take the stairs. That massive, I don't know what it is, but you have a massive pit down there, and there was something creepy underneath there. I don't know. Is that supposed to be there?
Made some weird noises.
Yeah, it made some really weird noises.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, that was surprise. Do you live in that pit, Ricky?
So on to the next question. So please tell us more about this mission.
Okay.
You were in Colorado. Is there a certain place that you wanted to go initially?
Initially, I would have loved to have served in the Hamburg, Germany mission, just because my heritage comes from Germany, and I know that's unprofessional. I know half a word in German, how to say half a second, or something like that. I know a little bit of German. Plus, it's freezing cold all there most of the time, and I sweat like there's no freaking tomorrow, so I prefer the colder climate. And I just really like meat, and Germans are all about that sort of deal.
That was a stab at me because I'm vegetarian.
Actually, I didn't think about it until after I said it, but now that I did say it, and now that I did think about it,
One little ha. That's great. So tell us about what were your expectations of going on your mission? Like, what do you think it was going to be like? And then what was it actually like?
Okay, so going into it, you think, okay, we're going on a mission, gentlemen. Load up and get yourselves ready because Satan and his minions are there to kill you. And you'll go out and you'll get spit on and rocks thrown at you and there will be pool acid and water balloons thrown at you left and right, 24/7. Dogs will eat you. But the important thing to remember is that someone is out there waiting to hear from you. And everyone out there on their mission are great upstanding gentlemen that do no wrong. And you're all going to be perfect and it's going to be great. And then you get out there and realize that everyone's people. People are people. And it's like, there are people who will spit on you. There are people who throw rocks at you. It happens. But it's not like all the time. It's not your daily thing. People will be rude to you daily. Every time you go and knock doors, everybody's like, I had to stand up for 2 seconds to tell you to go away. I'm insulted. And then, it's whatever, because we're putting everybody out by going, hi, can we show you the thing that's made my life incredibly happy? And they're like, no. And we're like, okay.
And then you walk away.
Then we walk away.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, that's great. And then there's constantly everybody telling us what we believe. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's weird. I've been in the church my whole life. And wow, we've taught almost exactly the opposite of what you're saying right there. But, you survive. And it's not terrible. But the really important thing is that you get to find the people who will talk to you and the people that you can actually help. Because as a missionary, our job first and foremost is to invite people to come unto Christ. You'll note I don't say the first thing in our mission is to baptize everybody so that they can be a Mormon. It's our first goal is to invite others to come unto Christ, because that's the best thing that you can do for anybody. And once they build their relationship with Christ, he will tell them where they need to go, and they'll go where they need to go for them. That's the sort of deal. We just sort of help them find a path to a good relationship with God.
And to do that, you just follow the yellow brick road.
Exactly. It's a nice brick road. It does not have a handrail, though. So
that has resulted in a lot of accidents, a lot of lawsuits. That is why there was not a sequel to
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, to The Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Because if they had that handrail there, whew, maybe Vladimir Putin wouldn't be doing the things that he's doing today.
True that very much. So it was planned. You plan to go to your mission for 2 years.
Yes.
Usually, you were discharged after 1 year
Yes.
for certain reasons that we don't really have to disclose on the
Yes.
podcast. If
No,
you don't
that's
want
fine.
To. Yeah.
I just want to say I didn't do anything wrong. I'd like to. I am home for medical reasons.
I feel like when they sat you down, they were like, "Listen, Colton, you're a great missionary. You're doing really great things, but we've gotten a lot of complaints of people coming to the door and you standing there, and when they ask, what do you want, you respond with, oh, and that's not really good for business."
They told me that was not the first reason. No, I'm just kidding. No, my mission president actually really wanted me to stay. He actually fought for me to stay, but missionary medical's like, yeah, we should probably make sure that you're not going to explode. Just make sure that your organs don't rupture there. So please don't do that. And so I'm home. And what we're doing is we're taking a little bit of time to figure out just sort of like, is Colton okay? Is he going to die? Is he going to kill someone else?
Oh, Colton, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Colton? Oh, okay. That was me and Colton's rendition of Annie, Are You Okay? Only on the Tenacious Time podcast, everybody.
Only here. Exclusively here.
Yeah, so in the 1 year that you spent there, and
Yes.
Before you were prematurely released, no pun intended.
Your
Your parents are going to listen to this.
I thought it was something else, and then it was that, and then, man.
So as I was saying, in the 1 year you spent there, what would you say was your most valuable experience?
My most valuable experience. Okay, so one of the things that I would say is probably the most valuable is on my mission, I learned a very, very important thing, and it's a very complicated thing. Well, it's not so much complicated. It's simple, but it's hard to achieve. It's hard to get. And if you don't have it, everybody talks about it, and they say, well, just have this. And everybody's like, yeah, just do it. And it's like, well, screw you. I don't know how to do that, and I'm not sure that I want to. But one thing that I obtained on my mission was self-worth, which is actually really, really awesome. Because for my entire life, I've kind of hid it a little bit, but I did not really like what I did, and I didn't see anything that I did as good. But on my mission, it allowed me to be on my own and to choose what I did and how I did it and when I did it and where I did it. And it helped me to see that, I can do crap. I can actually accomplish things. And the things that I accomplish, they've been good. I've been able to do good, which is really, really, really amazing. Because when you don't have that for so long, that first moment where you're like, yes, I did good. It's very, very.
That's kind of like the Breakfast Club
good.
ending where you put your fist in the air.
You're just like, yeah, I'm the best. Well, no, but Still, I'm awesome.
I should enjoy this moment.
I'm relishing in this time. So yeah, it really made me feel really good, and it helped me to feel like I could talk about a few things that were going on, and that instantly put up some red flags where people are like, wait, holy crap, okay, that's a problem, we need to fix that. So, I might have died, or killed someone, one or the other, or both. I might have killed somebody and died with my explosive organs that, they spit acid, actually, is what they do. And that just, it could spit acid at me, it could spit acid at somebody else. It's just, I don't know if I can make it any more clear. I'm screwing around because I don't want to talk about my actual problems. Yeah, so it helped me to open up and start to fix some stuff that I had just been dealing with. And so the mission's like, no, we don't want you to just deal with these things. We don't just want you to endure these things. So we're gonna let you work that out and fix these things, so that I'm not just like sitting there like bleeding out on the side of the ground, going, no, I'm fine. But yeah, so I'd say the fact that I have self-worth and self-confidence to actually go and do things instead of just giving up on everything ahead of time because I feel like it won't be good enough.
Good.
So yeah,
very valuable. I love it. So let's fast forward a little bit in
Yes.
your perspective of your life.
Yes.
Because from my understanding, there's a possibility you could go back on your mission.
Yes.
To finish it
Yes.
after you work out whatever it is you need to work out. So let's say you get back from your mission. What happens after that? What are your goals? What do you want to do with life once you're...
once I'm officially home.
Yeah, once you're officially home.
Right, because right now I'm not home. I'm just sort of in a limbo thing. I'm here physically, but I'm keeping myself in a state where I can go back out. So, in that regard, after I'm home, I will go, and first thing I'm going to do is get a job, because I do not have the money to go to college right now. And going back on my mission is not going to help me get the money to go for college, because that's one thing, is I don't get paid to do that. That's actually something I set aside money so that I can support myself while I'm there. And then that's what I do. Like, I set aside money so that I can do that. And so the first thing I'm going to do is get a job so that I can start going to college. And while initially I figured I'd just put everything into video production, I wanted to do all of that, but I've seen how, like, just as I've sort of grown up, which is another great thing about my mission that an experience that I had was that moment where I stopped being a kid. And I was like, well, video production is great. I still will do that, but
Speaking of video production, other experiences me and Colton have gone through, you can actually check out some of those with my podcast with Mr. Stephen New, episode 9, I believe. Continue.
I was just like, let me know when you're done with the plug. So yeah, freaking that. So video production's awesome, and I'm still gonna do it, but I need something to be an occupation in case I don't Markiplier or PewDiePie it, Because screw those guys, I hate both of them. I'm just kidding. I hate one of them. Figure out which one. So I'm actually going to go into becoming a mechanical engineer.
Really?
Yeah, which is a lot of freaking math, but
what made you want to do that?
I like building things.
Yeah.
I like fixing and building things. Just putting them together and then watching how they work or don't work. It's a fun experience to work on a project like that because you can directly see how it's helping because you built a thing for a purpose and then you can see it fulfill that purpose, which is really, really cool. I remember I actually fixed our toilet on the mission.
Hey.
Yeah, so
Bump
I
it.
felt smart.
Boop.
Yeah. So it had this thing where the floater that sits in the tank of the water that I don't know how much people know about toilets, but there's a tank with the water in it. When you pull the flusher thing, that water flows down into the toilet and washes your crap away, literally.
Hey-o.
So But there's a little device in there that floats up to a certain point, and that it's connected to a lever basically. And so when the water gets up to a certain height, it switches the water that's coming into the tank off so that it doesn't just constantly fill and overflow. So the problem with ours is that it wasn't getting low enough. Like, it would gently set down on the lever.
Oh, there
Yours
it
is-
is now.
yours
It's coming
just
back
did
to
that.
haunt you.
Yeah. one of the 15 toilets on this floor, I believe.
Yeah. Did you try to use the one that's attached to the ceiling?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I've still been trying to figure out how to get up there because I absolutely intend to use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
So I'll just.
I've only accomplished it once.
Okay.
And as the saying goes, that is a completely different podcast.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Completely different
I get
podcast.
you. I get you.
I still have nightmares about it.
I'm sorry. I know a support group. You can. It's Awkward Toilets Anonymous. ATA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh. Okay, go ahead.
So. So the thing was broken, and so because it was setting down gently on the lever that was supposed to make it refill, so it wasn't actually activating the danged thing. And I know this is the most interesting conversation ever, but so it wasn't actually activating it. So I made a thing that would come down and pull it down, but still be able to float so that it would come up and come off. Engineering.
Science.
Math and duct tape.
So that one experience pretty much made you just feel like, I could do this as a career.
Well,
Which you definitely can.
Yeah, no. I actually have thought about it before, but I never was like, I can do this. It's something that I can do. I was always like, well, I'm just going to build something and then it's going to break and everybody's going to hate me. But so it was sort of like, it was me thinking, maybe I can do that. And it was really funny. So normally it's just two missionaries together in a companionship.
Just the two of us.
Indeed. But in the last group that I was with was actually, we were in a trio, so there were three of us, and I got moved into the trio, and both of my companions at that time wanted to be mechanical engineers. And then every single person that we had dinner with that week were mechanical engineers. We got to tour one of their I don't want to call it a factory, but we got to tour their offices where they were doing everything, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. We went to Panda Express, and then shortly after I was like, yeah, I could do the mechanical engineering thing. Went to Panda Express. My fortune cookie said, your current plans will succeed. It was great. Just like everything was just like, do it.
Just do it.
Just
do it.
You said yesterday. You said tomorrow yesterday. That's yeah. Shia LaBeouf.
Running through the woods, it's Shia LaBeouf. Go ahead. We do a lot of musical references when we're together.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you should hear us in the car.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
That's a
A different
good
podcast.
way to die. Oh yeah, another podcast.
Get with the program.
Sorry.
Continue.
But yeah, so it was just like all of that, and then with that added on top of it, like I just fixed a toilet after two people gave up on it. Yeah. So I felt smart. I felt good, and so I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I can be a productive member of society.
Yeah, productive. I love it. Yeah, and I haven't really been able to make much of a career out of video production, or really make any money, I should say, because I don't really. I'm involved in so many different activities in life at the moment.
Yeah.
Podcasting being one of them. And even podcasting, I'm not really making any revenue at all from. I'm just doing it for fun. And video production is kind of the same way. But then it's just like, if I really wanted to succeed, I have to put time and money into it, which I just don't have the time and money to put time and money.
You're going
into
to school,
something.
you're doing all that stuff,
I'm
you're
volunteering,
just
wrestling, this, sleeping. I have to catch on sleep.
Oh gosh,
You know.
I missed sleep so much.
Oh, sleep's really nice.
I missed sleep.
You want to take a nap real quick?
I do.
All right, we're gonna do a nap.
We'll be back.
And we're back.
All right. That was a good nap.
That was a good nap.
You know, I didn't think the massage bed was going to be a good idea, but am I glad I trusted you.
Yes, it's always a good idea to trust me. So now that we're back, let's get to the second part of the podcast, which is usually where we get into our sweet, saucy, sexy segments of the show.
All right.
The first one being one that everyone goes through. It's called the 60-second challenge.
Oh gosh.
The 60-second challenge is not really much of a challenge. It's more, you don't really win anything. It's just to see how much you can do in 60 seconds.
Okay, I can
So
do a
you'll
lot.
have 60 seconds to try and name as many streets as you can. You're in Colorado. You're also in Las Vegas. There are many streets. Okay, and I'm very familiar with streets, especially in Colorado. Don't ask why and what I did in Colorado when I was there, but I'm very familiar with it. So 60 seconds to name as many streets as you can that are both in Las Vegas and Colorado. Okay? And your time starts now.
So we have Lamb, we have Bonanza, we have Washington, Mount Hood, Seaside Park, Battery Park, Stanley Park. We have Morning Sun, we have Los Feliz, we have, I already said Bonanza, Rainbow, Tropicana, Russell, Charleston, Hualapai Way, we have Boulder, we have, I'm not pulling up Google Maps at all. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see, Remington Road, Academy, Nevada Road, that's in Colorado, actually. It's
Ayo.
So I said Academy, then I said Remington, then there's Volmer, and then there's Black Forest Road, and then streets are hard. I said Russell Road, Mount Hood, Owens.
And time's up.
Dang it! They're in Henderson. They might work in Las Vegas, but they're in Henderson. Why am I upset? Because you have better housing than I do. So screw you, Henderson. You don't.
Funny.
Henderson actually has really nice housing. It's a much better place to live.
Yeah.
But there's that, and then the fact that Las Vegas's population is technically still only, I don't even remember. It's tiny. It's like 2 million, even though we have much more people. If you count Laughlin and Henderson and Summerlin and those places that are like attached to Vegas but are technically separate from Vegas and wouldn't survive if Vegas wasn't here. So I would count their populations, but they don't because they're arrogant jerks.
Arrogant jerks.
If you're from Henderson, if you're from Summerlin, if you're from Laughlin, hey, screw you. Just screw you.
Yeah. Good thing they don't know where this luxurious podcast studio is.
They'll never find this.
They'll never find it.
I don't think they'll figure out about the whole cloud thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, so our second segment, this is called Story Time. This is a segment I actually haven't done on the podcast for a few episodes now. We have a hat of story suggestions, usually just stories that everyone has in their life. So what you're going to do, Colton, you're going to choose 2 of the suggestions from the hat, and you can choose one of them to do, or if you'd like, you can do both of them. So go ahead and take your pick.
I will draw 2. It's just... Alright, so we have... Oh, and this has to be the real story of it?
Yes,
Oh,
real
dang
story.
it. So we have the most embarrassing moment from high school / school in general, and the most defining moment in life.
So you can choose one, or you can do both if you'd like.
All right. I'm gonna most defining moment in life. I think I've already kind of covered that one, so I'll start with that one and then go into the most embarrassing. Okay. Most defining moment in my life was on my mission when I was like, "Hey, I'm an okay person. I'm a good human being." And I actually finally started to be happy, and it was pretty great. That was 2 weeks before I left. Yeah, it was like I reached that moment, and then I got a call from my mission president that was like, "Hey, Saturday." And I'm like, son of a bishop. And so, yeah, so everything happens for a reason, and, I guess I needed to get to that point so that I could actually come home and fix myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really important to me that I did that, but most embarrassing moment from high school.
Or just school in general. I would assume the most embarrassing, most moments happen in high school.
You start to care the most in high school.
So tell us about that.
Let's see.
Better header.
Betterheader was not an embarrassment. I am still proud of everything that we did at Betterheader. Well, not everything we did.
Not everything.
Not everything.
Yeah.
I
That's another podcast.
I'm still proud. Yeah, it's a completely different podcast. I'm still proud of what we were able to accomplish with everything that happened.
Yes.
With everything that happened, we still pulled through and still did everything that we needed to.
I feel like we need to talk about that now. But first, answer this question.
First, most embarrassing thing from high school. I was really good at dodging embarrassment, but
yet you were a theater kid.
I was a theater kid.
We were all theater kids.
We were all theater kids.
So I think fancy outfits.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to have to actually go back before high school to middle school.
Heyo.
And this is a story that I get pissed. Okay.
Okay.
And you're a part of the story, Ricky. So
Okay,
don't
can't
freaking
wait.
think that you're gonna fetching get out of this. Stupid pinafore fetching pirates.
Oh, yeah?
And stupid bullcrap. There was one fetching scene where all the freaking pirates get frozen, and Sam, who is my character, is the cook of the pirates, and he is supposed to remain frozen until a very specific line happens, which is, "What about Sam?" At that moment, he is unfrozen and says a few things. However, Chris, the guy who's supposed to say freaking, you know what? No, I'm calling him out. Kyle Crouch, you little piece of crap. Jerk face. Great guy.
Great guy. Yeah.
Spectacular human being. Total just worthless. So Kyle. Love you, Kyle. So his character was supposed to say, "What about Sam?" And he wasn't saying it, so it didn't make sense that Sam was going to pop out of nowhere and just be like, "I'm taking over the scene now." But everybody was like, "It's Sam's line," because Chris said it was not doing anything.
Is this the Flies line?
It was the Flies line.
I remember that.
I remember because you
remember
were sitting there like something buzzing around. I remember because you were like, you were trying to remind me, and I'm like, "It's not my line. It's not my line." Yeah. And everybody gave me so much crap about it, and I'm like, "It wasn't my freaking line."
So if I can just chip in on that. By the way, this is all from 8th grade. This was 8th grade.
Still
Pinafore Pirates.
Still pissed.
Yeah, and so I was in that play. I played the Mikado of Japan.
Yes, you did.
One of my favorite characters to play, which I got a lot of crap for because opening night, apparently I upstaged everybody.
I didn't give you crap for that.
Yeah.
We all needed to step up.
But I remember I walked in the next day, and they were all sitting there in the little theater like, "Ricky, listen, man, you're cool and all, but you kind of upstaged everybody." And I was just like, "Not my fault."
And again, that was not your fault. We all needed to step up like really hardcore. Yeah.
But
my mom was talking about it, and she's like, Ricky was the only person that we could hear. Oh. He was the only one that was loud enough. He was the only one that was acting out enough. And it's like, "Well, thanks, Mom." And she's like, "Do better." No, but yeah, exactly. She pushed the button. The doors fell out.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the task at hand.
Sorry. But yeah, so that I'd say that was my most embarrassing because it was like, you screwed up. Oh no. Sorry. No, that wasn't. I just thought of a better one.
Okay.
So
give it to us.
I got pantsed on the way to going to PE.
Oh.
Which, it just happens.
Yeah.
You get pantsed. It's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing, but it's a thing. So we're walking to go to PE, and so the underwear that I wear is they are not whitey tighties. They're boxer briefs.
Okay.
So they're still pretty tight. I enjoy the support, but they're longer. They come down to my knees. And so when the guy went up to pants me and he grabbed my shorts, he grabbed my boxer briefs as well.
Oh boy.
So everything came down.
Everything.
And I was very quick with the holy crap, pull him back up. But let's just say there is a large number of people that went to East Career and Technical Academy that year, my freshman year. There were a lot of people who went to East Tech that year that saw my butt. It's just full on butt. because it's my PE clothes, and so they're not like
They're
they're
not the
not
most
particularly
supportive.
big, and they're
Yeah.
not particularly supportive. So like my shirt was like fully up, like above my waistline, like nope, just butt hanging out, which is
Yeah.
great. Luckily,
I could totally imagine Mr. Trainer, or did you have Mr. Trainer or Mr. Richards?
I had Mr. Trainer.
I could totally imagine like you guys all coming right for roll call, and then that happens.
Yep.
And then Mr. Trainer's like, "All right, come on, boys. Today we're gonna play a game of basketball."
I'm extremely happy that nobody in front of me happened to look back.
Okay.
So it was only butt. Nobody saw anything else.
Yeah. True story. Speaking of that, I got pantsed my senior year by a guy named Robbie.
Ah,
And so
Mildeck Robbie?
Yeah, and so I totally fell for it. I walk into the culinary hall, and he is sitting there with like 3-4 people, 3 of which were girls that I knew. I think one of which was Stephanie, and the other one was Erica.
Stephanie.
Yeah, and so he was there, and he's like, "Hey man, come over here," and I was like, "Okay," and he goes to tie his shoe. Mm-hmm. And so he's at perfect level. So I walk up to him, and he just straight up, I was wearing shorts, and he straight just yanks him down. And I don't want to say everything got shown, but had he pulled just about maybe like about 6 inches more, everything would have just been.
Oh,
and
jeez.
yeah, and I could see the look on the girls' faces, like, "Oh my god!" And that was a very embarrassing moment. I don't think it's the most embarrassing moment I've ever had in school in general. But that was that one definitely
That sucks.
sticks out. No
Yeah,
pun
I
intended.
know. That's rough.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So before we get out of here, you can't leave without doing a little bit of intentional improv.
Intentional improv.
How are you on time right now?
If my phone would
It's
activate,
3:29.
I can. I'll text. I'll handle it. We can finish up.
Okay, cool. So another segment we're gonna do here is called Blind Date.
Oh gosh.
This is where we have another hat of character suggestions where we'll each pick one, and then we will go on a date as those characters. Mm-hmm. All right, so you are our guest. You get to choose first.
Okay. Whoop. And I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Okay. I'm not revealing this to you, correct? Or are we revealing it?
Actually, yes, you reveal it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what did you get?
So I have someone who breaks into an inner monologue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand that. I have someone who has to use the bathroom really bad.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
We're going to take a short break because I got to get my phone really quick.
You do it. Taking a break. Taking a break. We're just sitting here and we're taking a break. Ricky's gonna cut all of this out, but if he leaves it in, I'll look like a trout. 'Cause I guess that's, it rhymed, and I'm committing. But some of you may not know this, but Ricky actually, he has a third arm. It sticks right out of his spine. He primarily uses it for making sandwiches, but he'd never admit that to anybody. So just figured I'd share that with
Hey,
you.
I'm back. What
Oh, hey, nothing, just taking a break. Just taking a break.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, so as we were, so yes, this is our game of Blind Date. Colton is someone who breaks into inner monologues, and I'm someone who has to use the bathroom really bad. So who asked who on this date?
I'm gonna be assertive. I asked you, Ricky.
Hey, thank you very much.
Frick yeah, dude.
And so where are we gonna go on this date?
I'm gonna treat you nice. I'm taking you someplace really nice. We're going to IKEA. And we're having the Swedish meatballs there that are no longer made out of horse.
Okay, I'll take that. All right, so this is our game of Blind Date, and begin.
All right. So what do you think?
I think I totally should have used the bathroom before we left.
That it's normal to feel that way. I guess I have that effect on people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I ate last night has an effect on me right now.
You're so funny. That's what I said. That's so funny. But, it's not what I thought. What I thought was that it wasn't funny. What I thought is that you're just trying to get out of this. You think that my Swedish meatballs aren't enough, and you think that just because we're in a furniture store, we can't have a nice meal. But you know what? I am done. Okay? I am done. Because I will have this date, and you are gonna marry me no matter how much chloroform it takes, okay? But yeah, it happens sometimes. You just feel like,
Yep, definitely happens sometimes. All right, so are we almost there? Are we almost there?
Are we almost there? Well, that's a matter of perspective. If we can get there within the minute, we can. But if not, it's a big thing.
I think it's gonna be a little bit more than a minute.
The sad thing is it wouldn't be a minute. You see, the car's broken down. The engine is literally on fire. Not quite sure how it's not being noticed, but yeah, probably should have had that checked out last week when it caught fire. But hindsight's 20/20, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be about 20 seconds before I blow if we don't get to a bathroom really fast.
Okay.
Do you have like a box or something, or maybe the trunk?
I mean, okay. So if you look in the back there's an urn. Don't use the urn. Don't ask questions. It's just there. But underneath the urn, there is a box. Don't worry. It's just copies of Twilight. There's nothing important in there.
Oh. Well, that works out perfect. Oh, great. Wait a minute.
What?
These aren't copies of Twilight.
Don't read them. Don't read them.
How'd you find my memoir?
Well, it's not so much of. He sent me his memoir several weeks ago. He wanted me to proofread it. Wanted me to read it and let him know how it was, what I thought. Well, I just told him to relieve himself into that box, so it's about how I felt.
And you won't believe how I am feeling, okay? Listen, can I just go? Listen, we're on the freeway right now, okay? Your car's exploding. I have to go really bad right now. We are late for our reservation at IKEA. And, okay, can I just, maybe, I don't know, go over the freeway?
I'd really like to stop somewhere, but this is the first time I've actually gotten them to take my reservation at IKEA. Okay, you know what? We're gonna make this work. Just do it. Just do it. I'm gonna roll down the window here. Okay. Oh, there's a Prius coming. Okay, you gotta hurry up. Hit the Prius.
Okay, sure.
And
But little did he know, I actually didn't have to go to the bathroom at all. This is just another scheme for me to moon people in a Prius. He thinks that I'm his date, Ricky Tenacious. But little does he know, I'm actually known as the Prius pants-pulling downer mooner. Known across all states. Yes, other people think that I'm just another human being. And other people, they assume.
He's just taking a while to do anything over there. Starting to get kind of worried about whether or not what he's doing is real. I can't help but feel like he's just trying to moon them. I cover up my aggressions because I don't think that too many people would appreciate the fact that I actually do drive a Prius on most days. I pretend to hate them, but it's just because of my self-loathing. He really is taking a while. Wow. I've never seen someone try to go to the bathroom that hard. It's almost as if he's enjoying it.
And scene. And that's what happens when we put us together with improv. Okay,
Jeez.
so we have our one last question to go here. Hopefully I haven't bored the entire audience, and by entire audience I mean all 2 people that actually listen to this podcast.
I'm one of them.
Hey. Heyo. So, last question here. First off, it's been a good time having you on here. Really
Thank
cool
you.
podcast.
Thank you so much.
As I said, you were a main catharsis for the podcasting that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. We have lots of ideas. We have things going on in our life. But I was just wondering, if we were to do a podcast, being I have a mic now, I have a luxurious studio, I'm a very successful person, what do you think our podcast would be about?
So if you and me were to do a podcast, I remember earlier we tried to make one, and literally we didn't have anything that we were talking about, which I think is one of the main reasons why it kind of just failed into obscurity, is because it didn't, happen.
And by didn't happen, wait, I'm sorry. Are you talking about the youth podcast or the one we did like a year ago?
The one we did like a year ago.
Yeah,
that
so
we didn't even finish the actual podcast.
I remember you picked me up from UNLV when I went there.
Yep.
And then we went to your house, and we literally took like 6 takes.
Yep.
And I think at one point we just said to mash them all together.
Yep.
And see what they sounded like.
Yep.
And I think we actually have a sample of that right now. Let's listen to that.
I was talking about some stuff. Life is it's a bumpy ride, especially when you pasta. Pasta has a very, very difficult thing for when you actually try to... Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hey. How's it going?
Hey, are we doing that podcast today?
I'm actually doing some sound tests right now. You want to do a sound test real quick?
That's pretty much like the only things that I think stoners eat, honestly. Like when you think about it, it's like probably Del Taco,
But if
Taco
you break
Bell,
it down to the most simple
Burger
level,
King,
a weed is not the same thing as a stone.
If you were like to go into further detail about that, I think that's what we'd probably come up with.
I really, really don't know what happened to that shoe, but one thing's for sure, somebody is very, very happy so long as they also have a scone.
And so that's pretty much what it was like. You can see the catastrophe that was.
Just, it's like if you've heard of a hot mess. This is like if a hot mess was eaten by somebody made out of poo, vomited, and then went and was decorated on top of Miley Cyrus's career.
that's a very accurate description. The cherry on top of that would probably be like one of some of my podcasts. I feel like what we just sampled is better than anything I've ever put up in this entire
I know, right?
entire history of me doing podcasts.
We're making jokes, but that podcast right there, I would listen to.
Yeah, definitely. We post that podcast, all of a sudden 2,000 viewers.
All of a
Doesn't
sudden.
listeners. But yeah, seriously, so what do you think our podcast would be about?
If you and I did a podcast together, it would probably.
Well, first off, would it be video or audio?
I think it would have to be video.
Okay, because we are video people.
Yeah, we are. That's exactly what I was talking about. It would be video, and we would probably be talking about. It would basically sort of be a review podcast.
Yeah.
We would start off by talking about films, both
Definitely.
independent and AAA titles that have been coming out. We'd talk about them, talk about different things that we thought were interesting about them. And it wouldn't just be a review standpoint, though, where it's like, should you see this movie? Right? We'd have that in there. But the idea would be things that we liked about it from a filmmaker's standpoint.
Definitely.
So it wouldn't be like, I think that Matt Damon is hot. It would be like, I really like the way that they shot this. I really like this. I did not like how in The Hobbit they used GoPros on the scene where they're floating down the river in barrels because it made it look stupid. So it would be that kind of stuff where we talk about stuff that we notice because we're filmmakers. And I think that would actually be pretty sick.
You know what could be a cool name for that is called the Film Baker's Guide, or maybe just Film Baking with Ricky and Colton.
Film Baking?
Where the kind of the gist of it, because if it's going to be a video podcast,
yes.
Okay, it's us reviewing a movie, whatever it may be, and then there's always some baked goods for us to eat.
Dude, just us making baked goods.
Do you know how many podcasts there are where literally like the gimmick of it is them talking, but there's like some type of food there?
Really?
Yeah, there's Pizza Podcast, and Pizza Podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
very diverse selection.
Yeah, and they have like way more listeners than I do. Then again, they also have like Will Sasso on there, so
Will Sasso.
Will Sasso's funny.
Lemons.
Um,
Oh, jeez, that guy's great.
So that it's come to that time where we have to say
Yep.
goodbye.
It's time to say goodbye. Sorry.
It's okay. That was kind of lovely, honestly. So with going, it's been really cool. I've honestly dreamed of this podcast, how it would be. I didn't think it would be a year earlier than I thought it would be, but definitely it was definitely the top. It's at the top of the list of things you were gonna do once you finally got back.
Well, for those listening, which is me and some other dude, this is just a preview of the next podcast that we're going to do in another year. And it's going to be twice as long, twice the production. The studio is like going to be this studio, the entire thing is going to be the recording booth that's going to be in the next studio. It's going to be great. Laser Sharks, probably at some point going to be interviewing Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Just gonna pull out all the stops on that one.
We actually already have President Trump lined up as one of our guests. That should be a good time.
That'll certainly be interesting.
Yeah. Definitely.
We'll definitely see how that all pans out.
One of the first questions. So, what do you think about Borders bookstores?
What? Borders bookstores?
Get it?
I get it.
Because the wall. But yeah, seriously. So, something back to your mission and how you learned very much from it. Whether you agree with religion or you practice it, or maybe you're just not that much about it. It's not really much about the religion. It's about what it does for you and the people around you. And I could honestly say from hearing Colton's stories that he has helped a lot of people, and ultimately he helped himself. And that's Tenacious. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. See you next time.
Love you.